Hello and welcome to Shy Sox Talk, episode 8. My name is Chris, here with my co-host Matt. How are you doing tonight?
Living the dream. Living the dream.
And we are here with White Sox insider Sergio. What's up, man?
What's up, man? How you been, man?
Fantastic. So we have a couple questions from some people who messaged us on Instagram, and then finally have some baseball news. Players met today with the MLB and International Signing Day. So, kick it off. We might get Sergio on his heels here, but he does work within the White Sox organization. Any cool moments from 2021 or like favorite player, anything like that you want to give us a little bit of inside info on?
Well, I'm gonna start off with Carlos Rodon's no-hitter. I did not expect that. It was just a regular game, working a very cold night actually, 20 degrees. I still remember that. But man, something I will never forget. A special moment, and I knew that from the get-go that he was gonna be something, especially with that year. So, I mean, very cool moment. One of my favorite players, Billy Hamilton. Hoping he will come back next year, for sure.
Everybody loves Billy.
Oh,
Seems like the nicest dude ever.
like I still remember the chants. They just been yelling, Billy, Billy, Billy. I'm like, wow, we really love Billy.
Billy the hitter night, right? Hit a what, like a triple and a home run, or
I was at that game when
Twins?
he hit that,
Oh my
that
God.
run. Everyone went insane in the stands.
And then the inside the park home run he hit against the Indians, which I think they counted as an inside park home run. And then his catch against Minnesota.
That insane
Bring the guy
catch.
back.
Oh my God, yeah.
Bring the guy back. Hopefully he can get a 6-steal game. Break his own record.
Got to get on base 6 times.
Yeah. Well, you can do 3. Second,
I
third,
guess it's true. That's true.
Twice. You just got to get on twice. Steal all 3 bags. Let's go. And we do have our first question from one of our listeners, Ben, and he is wondering about Luis Robert. Does he legitimately have the potential to be one of the best baseball players ever? Hasn't been in the league long, but he has all 5 tools to do it.
I think I'll take a stab at that first. I watch baseball a lot, but I'm not like a pro scout or evaluator or anything. But just from what I've seen from him, and just how he's improved since he's come into the league, and how he's strengthened his weaknesses and strengthened his strengths, he seems like he's gonna be, if health, don't factor in health or anything, but just like seeing how he's developed so far as a player, the sky is not even the limit. The friggin' out in the universe, he's going to be interstellar. That's how good of a hitter he is, and he just backs that up with like every other skill, 5-tool player, everything he's like A+ player at. And I think just based on just the eyeball test from watching him, he could be a Hall of Famer, if he plays like that for the rest of his career.
Sergio?
I mean, what can I say? Like the next Mike Trout. Like I've seen him just hustling after the ball like nothing, man. Running around the bases like a Speedy Gonzalez, hitting the ball like almost to the kid zone at the ballpark. Like, man, holy crap! This guy is he's literally like Mike Trout, but the Cuban Mike Trout, man. Like, come on now. Like, I mean, yeah, like what Matt said, he will potentially be a Hall of Famer, but as long as he's just staying healthy and just minding his own business, then everything will be fine.
Yeah, he's unbelievable, man. He is, everything he does looks so smooth and effortless that like it's incredible. It's like when they were scrimmaging before the COVID season started and he hit a home run and was falling over, like spinning, falling over in like a scrimmage game off of Dylan Cease. It wasn't like off of Jonathan Seaver, but it wasn't like off of Jonathan Seaver or like one of our AAA guys. It was off of Cease. It is unbelievable how like gifted that guy is. And 2022, everybody in the league is going to finally like see and understand how good Luis Robert actually like really is. Yeah, guy's unbelievable. Thank God he's on the White Sox.
And I mean, just like since he opened up that stance, like he changed his batting stance and opened it up since he came back from that injury, and he was hitting the ball like a Hall of Famer. Like if he touches the ball with the bat, it's like 95 plus exit velocity. Like wherever he hits it, it gets there fast and it gets there hard. And it's great. It's so fun watching him play. It's like hilarious to see how fast he is in the outfield and how hard he hits the ball. It's incredible on both ends of the game.
Yeah.
Man, it's so crazy because I remember he was going against Amir Garrett, one of the hardest throwers in the National League, and he just literally hit him off of him like nothing. And I was just speechless because man, hitting against this guy, especially he's so determined and very intimidating, it's just nuts, literally.
If you watch out, Amir Garrett will fight your entire.
Oh yeah,
team.
but I'm pretty sure Luis will win the fight. So
yeah,
you never know. You never know.
The Panthers out there, taking care of basically center, left center, and right center. Corner outfielders don't even need to do anything.
He's unbelievable how good he is.
Got a question from Mike. Favorite piece of White Sox memorabilia, Matt?
Probably gonna have to go with. This is a new addition to my collection. I got a couple of bobbleheads. I'll say more than a couple of bobbleheads. But I also was at the playoff game and I got a couple of those towels. The game that they won. And I think that's my new favorite piece of memorabilia that I have is the playoff game towel. It's pretty cool. Very fun game to be at.
Sergio?
Man, my favorite one? The towels, yes. I do agree with man on that one. I was there at the game. Luckily, I had a chance to get one. But, man, but my favorite one, it has to be the Tim Raines 2019. I remember I went to the Sox Fest. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. Oh, a collectible right here.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty badass.
No, yeah, no. It's still in good condition, but it was something that I'll never forget. I remember they were just giving it out, and luckily he had a chance to sign it. So yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
Mine, either the Frank jersey or that bat behind me. It's the 05 team signed that bat. So one of those two. Probably Frank. Probably.
yeah. The big hurt.
it's Frank. And then we got Lucas checking in here, and it kind of leads us into our first topic tonight. International Signing Day is Saturday. White Sox are set up to sign Oscar Colas. What do you think the guy's going to be, and where does he fit in to the White Sox organization?
I was trying to read up on him a little bit, but he seems like a pretty interesting player. I was kind of reading on Twitter that since the rule changes with international signing, like if this signing would have happened a couple of years previously, he would have been like a way higher signing than I think it was like $2.7 million that the White Sox gave him. But since they've kind of changed the rules for international signings, like he probably could have been like a $10 million, $15 million guy, if he was signed like 5 or 6 years ago, which, I mean, the White Sox have had a ton of luck, with that Cuban pipeline for a long time. This is like decades of major league players coming up. They really haven't missed very often bringing up guys from Cuba. Like the only guy that I can really think of that was kind of a big miss was Dayan Viciedo, but even he played in the MLB for a couple of years on a couple bad White Sox teams. But he was he was like 18 or something when they signed him, and he didn't really pan out. That's the only guy I can kind of think of off the top of my head that's a huge bust. I know there's a couple guys in the minors right now that might not make it up, so that you could probably add to that list. But I kind of trust the White Sox international scouting when it comes to players coming out of Cuba, so I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to be kind of the Cuban Otani, but he hasn't pitched in like a year and a half. So I don't think we're gonna see him pitch. If he doesn't pitch, it's a-okay because he is a left-handed power bat. His grades, his hits 55, power 60, runs 55, arm is 60, and his fielding is 55. And that's like some big time grades. There's a video I saw on him online of him standing in the warning track in right field and just casually throwing the ball to home, like absolutely dotting it. And this could be the right fielder in the future. He might jump Cespedes. I don't know kind of where Uquele is a part of his development, but he is like a real deal kind of dude.
No, yeah, I mean, I do agree. Like he's legit. I'm just kind of proud and I trust the White Sox organization that we still have. Who knows? Like we might have even more Cuban players that want to play for the White Sox, that want to play with Abreu, Moncada. Like man, like who knows? Like Rick Hahn maybe have a full list of the Cuban players that he has his eyes on, like for future references. But Oscar, man, this guy is something else. 2018, I think it was in a Japanese league. He was batting a 380, but he only had one home run. He could still hit the ball no matter what. Like you don't need to have like a lot of home runs like to win games. Like as long as you just hit the ball or like just have like a rally going for us, like we should be fine. But the one thing that was a downside is that he had a 222.3 strikeout rate. So we definitely need to help him improve on his strike zone in order for him to potentially be better.
Yeah, I think that high strikeout rate's kind of true for a lot of guys coming out of Cuba. They're kind of free swingers. And I think if you look at the players, like I think their strikeout rate is typically there's a reduction in when they come at least to the White Sox organization as far as Cuban players. I think Moncada had a high strikeout rate when he came up, and he's reduced that, and now he's pretty high on base guy. And I think Jose Abreu always kind of had a pretty good strike zone. So, but yeah, I mean, Oscar Colas you look up pictures of that guy, dude. He's got the body for it. He looks like he's going to be a beast, So
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think he's going to jump Uquele?
I think he's a more highly touted player than Cespedes. I think a lot of that, with Cespedes is that's coming like just name basis gives him kind of more of a shot. Or when people see that name, they're thinking of Yoenis. But I think this Colas kid, I think he could definitely jump him in the rankings. Another kind of interesting thing I wanted to bring up. This guy James Fox I follow on Twitter. He's kind of like he knows a lot about the minor leagues for whatever reason. His Twitter's at James Fox 917. But I was reading a thread that he was in where for some sort of tax reasons, he's like pretty sure that Colas is not going to come to the United States until next year. Like he'll be in the Dominican Republic for the full year for tax purposes. For whatever international like U.S. tax code type shit.
James Fox from Future Sox, great podcast. Do you ever hear this, James? Come on the show. But yeah, I'm not a tax expert. I have absolutely no idea how that works. But the Sox had him ETA for 2024. So at that point in time, even if they were to sign like Nicholas Castellanos, if that were to happen,
it's a dream.
I think he's your guy. You're gonna see a White Sox outfield of like Eloy, Luis, and Oscar. Probably in the next few years.
I'm happy for it. They kind of have a thinned out farm system right now, just kind of nature of calling up all your good players. So it seems like they're reloading with international talent, which is they've kind of had a lot of success with in the past. So I'm kind of happy to see that.
What do you think, Sergio?
I mean, with like besides the tax purposes, like if he just keeps improving, then there should be no problem whatsoever. Like I mean, the with Cespedes and Oscar, like to me, I think it'll be a tight race. I mean, you got Cespedes as like a speedy on base percentage type of guy, and a powder like a lefty powder hitter. Like man, like which one would you go after, man? Like, I mean, personally, like I don't really care. Like as long as as they're just winning ball games, that's all that matters, man.
You're high on Cespedes, though. You
Yeah,
told me that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm very high in Cespedes. I mean, like I seen his highlights. Guy's legit. He to me, he's better than his brother. Like, hey, man. Like, I'm calling it. I'm calling it, man.
Right on. We'll take it. It's a good problem to have. Good problem to have in the minor league system is jammed up with good players. So.
Heck, you could put Eloy at DH and then just have those two
Oh
control the
yes,
corners.
yes.
If that were to pan out that way,
I can't with his injuries, man. I can't.
Eloy, he likes the ninja kick, the outfield wall, left field wall. So blow out his knee. Don't blow it. I'm sorry I said that. I'll take that back. Don't blow out your knee, please. Last spring training game of the year, he's gonna fake rob a home run again.
No, he's not. He's going to play 150 games this year. I can feel it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They should just pull him out the last week of spring training. You're done. We didn't tell you this before, but you're done. You hang out here, right here in this spot till opening day. No mas. So as every baseball fan is well aware, we're in a lockout. An 8-player council led by Scherzer met with the MLB owners today. Apparently, word from Jeff's Passion is not a great reaction via the players from the owner's proposal. I imagine, with union kind of negotiations, this is probably your first offer isn't your best one. But few things that the players want is they want a spending floor. They want the 2 divisions back, which would probably put the Sox in the West or the East. I'm not really quite sure. Depending if they added like an 8th team in Montreal, would probably force them into the West. And then, a higher, either a higher wage for younger players or earlier arbitration. And it looks like the MLB owners really only went with maybe raising pay for younger players, but kind of there was pick your poison there. What would you like to see out of it, and how would it affect the Sox?
I mean, of those 3 things, if I could only pick one, I would want to see the floor getting raised. Like really anything that will just stop the tanking from happening. I think it's bad for the sport to have, like 30, 40, sometimes 50% of the league not even trying to field a competitive team. No one likes watching that. I mean, only psychos like me watch the White Sox, for like a 5-year rebuild. Like it's just not fun to watch a team gets into the 7th inning and it's close and they're going to lose. Like they're down 1 or up 1 or 2 and you just know they're going to lose and then they do. It's not fun. It's not fun for anyone.
It's pain, literally.
It's awful.
I feel you, man.
Spending floor would be awesome because that is immediately you ditch Dallas Keuchel's contract to anybody who's not even close to it. Like for prospects, like that is a dream scenario for the White Sox right now is the spending floor coming in because you get rid of that $18 million. You probably could send them to Pittsburgh or Baltimore, get some prospects, and either they pan out or you take that money and you go sign somebody else who can help you win a World Series right now. Hey, maybe Carlos Rodon. Maybe that money turns into a 1-year deal for Carlos Rodon. The other thing that was there today, it looks like everybody agreed on, was the universal TH. Looks like both sides are gonna agree to that without like having a bargaining chip tied to it, which is, I think, good for baseball because nobody wants to watch pitchers bat. Nobody ever wants to watch.
I mean, there's a lot of people who do, but I think it's about time because with every pitcher like throwing 100 miles per hour now, there's really no soft tossers in just the way the game's played. It's going to be even harder for pitchers to hit.
And most of the guys have been pitchers only since high school. Like they in college and the minors, they weren't hitting. It wasn't like they're getting reps. Or they're supposed to just step up to major league pitching. And
yeah, I mean, it's an extra roster spot for a hitter. You can, older guys can kind of stick around a little bit longer. So like guys like Albert Pujols can play, and you find a spot for him to hit. So you can kind of have the legends stick around for a little bit longer, extend the shelf life for them, and kind of just gives you a more competitive game to watch, which I think for people who aren't diehard baseball fans like us, it can be boring to watch baseball games, and you go to grow the game and keep this league the way it is. It's got to be more exciting for the average fan.
No, yeah, I mean, I do agree. Like, I think we should like definitely change the hitting spot. Like, I'm just sick and tired, and it's just useless just seeing pitchers hit. Besides the game where Dylan Cease had like a 3-hit game with against the Reds, like, man, that was something. And like I will still never forget where he hit that ball all the way to right field. I thought it was gonna go over the fence, but luckily that ballpark is pretty damn long, so.
He just missed a home run and like hit off the
Yeah.
bottom of the fence. He crushed it.
Do you like the spending floor?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I do like the spending floor. And honestly, I don't have a problem with it. So
I think it would be nice to like make, because the money from that luxury tax is just going to owners' pockets. Like that's getting distributed to small markets, and just like I think that players have a real gripe there, so that they're not seeing that money. Although if that spending floor happens, this luxury tax isn't going to budge, which I think is what might kill that. Because players also want the luxury tax to go up, but owners don't want to spend that. Like if they have to spend a certain amount,
I always kind of felt like if they're going to have a luxury tax, why don't they just actually have a salary cap?
Yeah, I agree with you. And then it looks like MLB wants a 14-team playoff. The owners do. So I imagine, players are going to work that in. What do you like the expanded playoff idea, Sergio?
I'm not a big fan of it. No, I'm just gonna go, just old school. Just keep it 10, and that's it, man. Like I don't want, the Indians or the Twins to like make it to the playoffs, or like any other team that we don't like. So I'm gonna just keep it like that, man. I just keep it like that.
I'll have to disagree with you on that, Sergio. I think expanding the playoffs, and the reason I like the idea of expanding the playoffs is it keeps more teams in the hunt for a playoff spot throughout the season, which makes the game more competitive. Because, like at the All-Star break when, teams that are like 500 end up tearing their teams down. Look at like the Cubs did it. The Braves did the opposite thing at the trade deadline. They were around 500 and they loaded up and they won the World Series. So then you look at the Cubs who had almost the identical record. They tore it down, and they might not be very good for a few years here now, depending on kind of how their offseason kind of everyone's offseason kind of rolls out. But I think the expansion of playoffs is cool. You'll get to see more teams in the playoffs that you normally don't see. So like maybe Mike Trout, the top premier player in the league, he's got a better shot at making the playoffs. That's better for growing the game.
Yeah, I love the 14-team playoff, and I loved when they did the 3 wild card games at one stadium. Could you imagine like a 3-game runoff against like the Twins or the Tigers next year on the South Side? That'd be insane. I think
that was pretty cool. That was very cool.
They should never ever mic up. I think it was Canna though. Never ever mic up Mike Canna again ever in the outfield though. Like way too hard to play baseball.
Well, yeah, I mean, another reason I like the playoff expansion is sometimes good teams have they have like injuries that hurt them, and they're actually a good team. They just couldn't put it together for 162 games for whatever reason. Kind of gives you a better chance to have like kind of a on the edge team make it. Like for example, 2006 Chicago White Sox won 90 games, missed the playoffs because the Tigers and the Twins both had like almost 100 wins each. They both played amazing baseball. White Sox played pretty good. They won 90 games. If that team made it into the playoffs, that's a pretty similar roster to the 05 team. Excuse me, I'm dying. What could that team done, in the playoffs?
What do you think, Sergio?
You know what? You guys are changing my mind now. You guys are literally changing my mind. I mean, I'm still gonna be, with the 10 team, but like, I think it'll be very interesting to see, kind of like a losing team trying to bounce back, see what it goes from there. But yeah, I don't really want to play against the Tigers or the Twins, like one of the most hatred teams out there. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I love it. I mean, anything to make. I think if you grow sport, like look at NBA, how many teams make it in the playoffs there, and people love the NBA because fan bases can be invested. I'm originally from Western PA. I loved baseball, but I never watched the Pirates because at no point in time ever did I grow up and they ever actually went and tried to be competitive. And like the first time they had a competitive team, they traded everybody after like 1 or 2 years. So anything to make teams be more competitive helps it's going to help the team grow a ton.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're like if 14 teams make it and you never make the playoffs, you're like you can't even get lucky and get in there. I think that's going to reflect poorly on the owner and hopefully embarrass them into spending more money on their team.
Or sell the team.
Or sell the damn team.
Hey, if you're too poor of a billionaire to put out a competitive team, you're just a poor person at that point. Sorry, you're like me. You're just a normal guy. You don't get to own a
sell it to somebody else.
Sell the team, Jerry. All right. Sell the team to the city of Chicago. We'll be sick every year. And looks like the other thing is the player control is the other big topic here with CBA. I'm gonna throw this one over to you at first, Sergio. The way they do it now, they're proposing maybe a minimum age for free agency. If you play one game, your clock starts. Kind of what would you like to see for the young players, where there's no more, service time manipulation? Because that's going to be, I think, a big point of adjustment in the CBA.
I mean, with like the pitcher's clock, like I'm kind of interested of seeing that as well. Like, get the game going, just making sure like they're on point and stuff. But yeah, like I mean, if I'm being honest, like it's not a bad plan. I would love to see what they could overcome it. So.
What about you, Matt? Service time?
Yeah, I think the service time manipulation thing's kind of like a real BS thing that GMs and owners do, and the reason they do it is because that's the rules that they've written for themselves to follow. Whatever gets, I'm always in favor of just generally in favor of labor in a labor dispute, not the owners, because I think the owners already have plenty of money. So, whatever gets the players paid more, I think, and earlier is better for the game. Because right now it's kind of almost the same issue as with the NFL, where, if you look back in the early 90s in the National Football League, there was a lot of second and third string guys that were vets that had been in the league for 10 years. And some would say that the level of play was better back then, whereas most of the fillers in the roster now are practice squad guys, undrafted free agents, younger guys that don't get paid as much. So I think if you increased the amount of money that the younger guys are getting paid, it's going to give you more of a reason to look at the veterans and keep them on your roster as opposed to kind of churn and burn young guy time. You'll have more vets on the bench and things like that.
Yeah,
I think there's more Billy Hamiltons in the league then.
I think Billy Hamilton was such a huge, and Brian Goodwin too. Like those are two older guys. I'm in favor. I mean, service time wise, I'm in favor of either making it like I think the number that was thrown out there, like 29 and a half, you become a free agent, or having it where, you step on the field once, even as like a call up, your clock starts right then and there. The fact that you can, put a kid up in the majors for a week and then pull him back down, I mean, some guys don't get to become free agents until they're 33 years old, and then their time to get paid is over. Like you're not going to get paid like you should when you're 33. So anything to help younger players like get kind of what's there and improve development as well, I'm a big favor of.
Yeah, I mean, no fan is like, oh man, I really was happy that Chris Bryant didn't get called up a week early. I'm sure every fan that bought or didn't even get to see him play because he was down, in AAA for first couple of weeks of the season.
Yeah, didn't he bat like 400 in spring training? And the Cubs were like, he's not ready yet. He needs a week.
Yeah, I mean the Sox did the same thing with Luis Robert. They did the same thing with Eloy Jimenez. They're like, he didn't check all the boxes yet. It was famously said by Rick Hahn. When like those guys are batting like 400 in AAA.
Yeah, Eloy's hitting 500-foot home runs in Charlotte. He needs to be hitting 550 for us to.
Oh my goodness, I will never forget that moment. Like that ballpark, he made it like so short, man. He made that ballpark so short.
Eloy's a beast. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm although I think the Sox have done a really good job at ultimately paying those guys kind of like what their value is during their like control years without like.
Well, they bet on him. It's kind of like Rick Hahn's trademark is betting on the young guys to be good. He did the same kind of contracts with Chris Sale and Jose Quintana, and those guys ended up being huge trade chips because they couldn't put a playoff roster around them. But that's kind of, I think, a way that a lot of GMs will kind of play it moving forward is let's pay him early, and because you know what, I'm the guy who drafted these guys. I'm the guy who decided to pick these guys. I have faith that they're going to be players. So let's get a discount and get them early. So they have Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez and Yohan Moncada, all three of those guys, kind of the same contracts.
Yeah. Sox have done a really, really good job at kind of, taking care of their young guys and everything like that. So hopefully the CBA kind of gets flattened out and you don't miss baseball this year. Because if you start missing games, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt, young kids getting invested in it, especially with the Bulls being better and like Justin Fields being in town and all of that. Like, they could very easily lose.
Yeah, and it's like as not even just for the White Sox, it's for Major League Baseball as a whole. They can't have another delay. They need to figure it out.
Yeah. So that kind of checked all our boxes for the night. Throw it over to Sergio. Any parting words? Any things you saw as a ball boy you wanna throw our way, or
anything you need to plug? Anything you're trying to advertise?
Well, I mean,
free plugs. So.
Well, I mean, I'm just very appreciative. Thank God, ball boy for Chicago White Sox. Definitely a gift from God, man. Literally, like it's something that I will never like leave. But I'm very excited to see what's gonna come next season. We're definitely gonna be out there again, and hopefully defeat those Astros. Cause man, I can't stand them, man. Literally, I can't
Can't
stand
stand them
those
either,
guys.
dude. They drive me insane.
I know.
Cheaters.
I was there game 4. It was my first playoff game like ever, but something that just triggered it. Literally.
Their lineup 1 through 9 is just all murderers. So
Tough, dude.
Straight up fastball hitters.
and
Straight
they
up.
hit
Kyle-
it. And they hit it.
And Kyle Tucker was supposed to be bad, and then he just like slashed 320 and like a 450 this year, which cool. Good job, Astros.
Suspicious.
So that's weird. That's real weird. Matt, you got anything for our listeners tonight?
I do not have anything for our listeners. Go White Sox. Hopefully this lockout thing's over soon. Sergio, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys coming.
Yeah, but I don't have anything cool to say. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Sergio. It was great. Hopefully we can have you on again. Maybe even in season, you can give us a little pointer on, Tony La Russa looks awake in the dugout during the game or not.
For some reason, man, we got to give him a Red Bull or a coffee or something. Man.
give him pre-workout. I saw a pre-workout on the internet called I Am God. So go ahead and load up his water bottle with that and see if that wakes him up. Yeah, go White Sox. Thanks to everybody who listens to this, interacts with us on Instagram, and yeah, that's it. So go Sox.